All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Marketing Pains. My name is Will Hankey. This is the podcast where we talk with real window treatment and awning business owners about their successes and struggles related to marketing their business. Today on our Covering Success series, we have a great shop-at-home decorator who has some great industry background and does a lot of marketing for her business, quite a bit of marketing. So very excited to kind of go through that and see what's going on in her world. So Renee DiMichiei is the owner of Decorating Details. Decorating Details is an award-winning woman-owned and operated firm specializing in window treatments. The firm grew from a small Pittsburgh area business to a national company, designing spaces for Fortune 500 companies and more than 40 high-end skilled nursing facilities across the country. Renee's decades of experience in the industry and her extensive experience as a speaker and facilitator makes her an industry expert that you'll definitely learn from today. Renee, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Will. I'm honored to be here today and so excited to share a lot of my stories.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And I know, like I said, you're doing a lot of different marketing coming from a lot of different angles. So really excited to kind of dig into that. So tell us a little bit more about your business, how long you've been in business, that type of stuff.
Sure. Well, this is actually Decorating Details Part 2. So back in the day, in the 80s, 82 to about 93, I worked in a wholesale drapery workroom that was a national supplier that had a workroom, and then we handled products like Kirsch, all the fabric companies, and then they had a big workroom there. So we shipped all across the United States. And I came in there for a part-time job while I was raising my kids just to answer the phone. I worked my way up to inside and outside sales and did all of their marketing and got them on the cover in a story of, I think it was Window Fashions something. So I love marketing and I really grew into this. So somebody came up to me one day when I was helping them with fabric and trim, and they said, "Wow, you're really good at this. You have a great eye. You should open your own business." So I was young and naive at the age of 35, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to do this. So I talked to the folks that ran the business, and they said, sure, I was going to do it part-time, but that only lasted a few months. And I stopped it and went full-time. So I have a lot of history in the industry and ask a lot of questions. So in 1992, I started Decorating Details. And it didn't take off at first because I just wanted to take it slow and work with my family and their sports. And then my mom was very ill and I wanted to spend more time with her. So I grew it at my own pace. And I think that's really important for people to know. And then when my kids all got in school, I just kicked it up and I did mostly residential. Then a cousin of mine worked in an office furniture place, and she's like, why don't you come and handle all of our blinds? You can go in and represent us. And then that's what took off. And then they needed cubicle curtains. I'm like, I don't know how to do cubicle curtains. Well, that I was taught from one of my mentors to never say you can't do anything. You have to ask and find the help and learn it. And again, if I wouldn't have remembered that, I would never have gone where I went at almost $1 million business, had 4 employees. I was in 6 states doing high-end nursing homes. So I really got into the commercial aspect and doing stuff for all kinds of companies in the region. And then out of state, Florida was most of my business. And then in 2005, I kind of had enough of it. My knees were getting bad. I'm like, I'm done with this. So I got into other work. I've done so many different things. So my last job, I was working at an architectural firm. I was doing business development for them. And I was coming close to retirement age. And I'm like, okay, I got to find another job to do while I'm retired. So my kids were building homes and buying homes. So I'm like, I went to my boss. I said, hey, can I restart my business? And we knew each other from that business. I worked with her on a few projects. So she's like, sure. So I left probably 6 months earlier in retirement than I was supposed to because the business took off.
Wow.
And here I am again. So I'm just having a blast. I love this.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. So in and out, back and forth, and here you are now. I mentioned earlier that your shop at home, is that really your main goal, is to get those shop at home leads?
Yes, I am not. I was always in, after a few years of working in the basement of my home, I'm back in it. But I did have space within the city of Pittsburgh and needed it for my employees, and our business was growing so fast. But right now I'm just planning on staying shop at home and then really segueing the residential into more commercial.
Okay.
So my first full year was last year, I started January 1st, 2022. My first full year, I became a Graber Premier Partner. My accountant called at the end of the year and said, you had a profitable year. That normally doesn't happen in your first year.
Yeah.
So it was I think a good decision I made.
Yeah.
So very happy.
It doesn't necessarily happen in your 5th year or 7th year either, right?
And I think it goes back to my relationship building and the people that I took care of through all my other jobs I had. I formed these relationships, and it's all about trust and building that. And people trust me and they know of my name. So
right.
When people see me doing something, they feel that I'm a trusted company. So again, they don't hesitate to do business with me. Build your brand. One of my big things, build your brand, build it your whole life, because that is your name and your reputation, and it stays with you forever.
Yep.
So my first tip, build your brand.
I like that. That's great. So let's talk about services offered. You mentioned Graber. I think you're still with them, correct?
Yes, okay. Absolutely.
And
I also carry Norman and some other companies, Lafayette, fabric companies. I'm sticking with Graber. I really love their workroom. I never thought I would get into soft treatments again. I just didn't want the hassle. And I gave it a shot. Beautiful, beautiful workmanship. Better than when I used to use local people that grew up in the industry. Their moms did it. They did it. They were perfectionists. And I'm like, that's me. So how am I going to do this again? But beautiful work at Graber Workroom down in Florida. Amazing.
Nice. Okay. And your market is the Pittsburgh area. How far out from, let's say, the center of the town do you go?
I go out as far as they need me. If I feel it's a good, strong lead, I'm going to go. I'll do it. I'm used to going into Ohio, West Virginia. I've done about 3 or 4 jobs in Ohio already too, mostly relatives. I don't really plan on expanding there, but I will go wherever it's needed.
Sure. And you're mostly focused now on residential, but you still thinking about commercial, or?
Oh, yes. And it started right off very quickly last year. I went with a search engine optimization company. We cut ties right away, and I signed up with you, and it's been beautiful. But with them, I actually got one of my biggest jobs that carried me mostly through the year. It's a university here in the city of Pittsburgh, and I'm doing all their stuff, and it brought in probably half of my business last year.
Wow.
So I'm continuing. I have another university I work with. I'll get into it a little later on who I really work with. But yeah, I'm starting to expand in that realm, and I love it. And I'm doing some marketing in, which we'll discuss later too.
Love it. Yeah. So fantastic. Thank you for that kind of overview of your business. I appreciate that. So if anybody's been on any of my marketing workshops, anything like that, we talk about 3 things. We talk about the market, or who you're talking to, the message or what you're saying, and the media, which is how you say it. So let's jump into those and let's start with the market or the who. Who is your ideal customer or target market?
My ideal customer in residential is usually actually 35 up to 75. It spans that greatly. They have different needs. So again, when I go in there, I really spend the time finding what they need, what their issue is, educating them on the pros and the cons of all of my products that I carry, and just getting a good sense of where they're at with that. So then in commercial, right now education's big for me, and I'm trying to get into healthcare because that was another one of my big ones.
Okay.
And that's starting to kick up also. So those are, I really want to segue more into commercial. I love that part of it. And I specifically like education and healthcare, with the healthcare more senior centers, because again, that's a really growing entity that is going to last a lifetime,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
senior care centers.
Yeah. And those are bigger jobs too. You can have less jobs, just bigger jobs.
Right, exactly. And they know pretty much what they want. And you just
Right.
got to be responsive, and they want to deal with you.
Yeah. Yeah. On the residential side, you mentioned 35 is kind of the low end. What percentage of customers do you see in that, let's say 35 to 45 range?
That's kind of on the lower end. I would say maybe 20%.
Yeah.
They're mostly do it yourself and Home Depot and Lowe's. And, to be quite honest with you, a lot of times by the time they build their home, which is a lot of times very big, they are out of money for us. They really are.
Yeah.
So they like to shop, which is fine. I offer a guarantee. It has to be written exactly as what I'm providing them. And if they find someone lower than me, then I will match that price and give them another 10% off.
Oh, nice. Okay. That's great. Yeah, I was kind of wondering about the lower end of the market or the lower end of the age range. We don't see a ton of people in that age range. So it was interesting that you brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So that's the who or the market that you're going to. Let's talk about the message or what you're saying to these audiences. So what is your unique selling proposition, or what kind of, how do you position yourself in the eyes of your customers?
Well, my number one big thing is response. Right before I got on here, I got a lead boomerang lead from your company, which is fantastic. And I immediately answered them and said, "Hey, I'm just jumping on a podcast. I would love to talk to you. Can I give you a call in an hour? I can help you. I'm shop at home." Because that was their question. Okay. Do I come to you? So I answered their question. I was responsive. You don't know how many calls I get from people that say, "Gosh, you were the third person I called, but you were the only one that got back." The first one yelled at me and said, "Oh, I'm too busy," but she actually yelled at me. And then the second one never called me back, and you called me back within a few minutes. So you're top of my list right now. So again, it's as simple as customer service, response time, quick response. And then, what plays in there is your industry knowledge and my decades of experience. And I'm going to take care of you from beginning to end. My flexibilities, I'll go out on a Sunday if need be. I'd go out in the evening. I let them, that be totally up to them. What works for you? That's my first question to them.
That's great. Yeah, I like that. I just got back from IWCE. And I spoke, I had 3 sessions there. The first session was on marketing automation. And we talked about just that thing, just the fact that people don't call back their leads. And it blows me away every time I talk to a potential customer, how they're not calling back their leads, or if there's a missed call, they don't call them back. And that responsiveness is just amazing. And just that one thing will help you grow your business.
Absolutely, it will.
Yeah,
It's so simple too. It
it
really
is.
is.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, I mean, just to think that people don't follow up with people that are asking them to spend money with them is kind of confusing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So okay, so that's kind of the message. And we're actually we're get a little bit into the message when we talk about the media or how you're reaching out to these people, because every one of them you talk to them in a different way, right? So so let's jump into the media. This is obviously the one that I enjoy the most.
Me
What
too.
yeah, what kind of marketing are you doing right now, and kind of what is the mix across the board of the different pieces of marketing that you're doing?
Well, I love marketing, so I try pretty much everything and anything. So looking at this list, like direct mail, there's postcards and door knockers. Right now, I'm kind of stopping the door knockers. Everyone has Ring videos. They're really into the privacy. I don't feel comfortable doing that, which really frustrates me because when I first ran my business, that's how I started. I would go to new housing plans and I would get in at one or two from the door knockers, and it would expand to that whole complex.
Yeah.
So right now I use my local business journal when they have homes that are sale, or my local paper, and I would send out postcards. I kind of laid off on that. I didn't get a real good response, but I do like direct mail. So then into print. I came from an advertising background. I worked at a business journal. I sold advertising. I know you have to brand yourself when you're a new company. So I did that big time last year. I spent over $22,000 in advertising last year,
Wow.
which I'm cutting back this year. But I did the Clipper. And the Clippers, I have some, it's like a Valpak. I think it's part of Valpak, but it's the actual brochure you get with about 20 pages or so.
Yep.
I got a $7,000 sale from that. So it worked. The business journal, I did their, for the people that can see, I did their luxury home insert. I did this 3 times in a year. My main focus was that one was I was branding my name. So I didn't really get any calls, but when I'm out, people know I'm doing this now. And again, that could be a reason. But I also do a lot in that mixture, and I'm going to go through that too. I did another publication, Table Magazine is a high-end company that does a lot of cooking and events, but I was in their digital component, again, branding only. I just signed up now to be in a golf course publication at Oakmont Country Club, one of the premier golf courses in the country. So they're going to keep that out all year, and then they're also mailing it to all of their customers. That's due to go out probably this month. So we'll see how that goes. I kind of backed off on my print. I do have one more as far as the women's yellow pages. It's the last year we're going to do it here in Pittsburgh. I know most of the ladies. I know the publisher. So again, I thought I would be in there. I used to do it in years past. But right out the chute, what I did was I went on TV. I had a 30-second commercial on a cable on Comcast in certain regions. I picked my regions out. Again, branding. Didn't expect much results, didn't get much results, but it was name recognition and branding, and I feel that's a huge component. And again, of course, we all have to have websites, and I had one to start, and it was very well done. But we went with, when we found out about WT Marketing, Will and your team put it in WordPress, and we love it. I think it's doing a great job. I don't do any billboards or anything like that, but I have done radio in my other one, which was okay. I think it was successful. But my big thing is networking. I am a master networker. I speak at the small business development centers on this. I have a whole program I put together on mastering the art of networking, where we actually can show you how to get your return on investment.
Wow.
So I belong to the Chamber of Commerce in my hometown. I don't live there anymore, but I'm very active with scholarships for my parents. So I'm an elite sponsor. And I suggest companies look into their chamber and look at their higher level with sponsorships, because I pay $1,250 on that, but everything is free. I get my lunches free. I'm sponsoring Touch a Truck next weekend. So I am the mascot sponsor. So my logo is going to be on every photo the little kids take with the pirate parrot.
Oh,
So
that's great.
I was right out the chute. And again, I think I just got to pay an extra 100 or two on that. So I'm getting ready for that. I was a table sponsor for a murder mystery. I played the part. It was a Christmas theme, and it was funny, and people got to know me. I do their newsletter. I get a full page ad. It doesn't cost me anything because I paid up front. From doing my small business development speaking, the airport chamber heard about me, and they know of me. I used to belong with the other firms I worked for. So they just asked me to come and speak. So again, anytime you speak, you have all of your literature there, and you can pass things out. And my visibility strategist does all of my PR, all of my marketing, everything for me. We sit and discuss it, and it's done. So again, that helps me. I belong to a women business network. I spoke at their conference last year, and then I decided to join. I just got a job. And again, if these don't work for you, leave and find something different. Track your return on investment. It's another thing I have to tell you. You got to see who's buying off of you, where your leads are coming, how much money you're making. Is it paying for you to belong there? So I just got a $3,000 job last week on that.
Wow.
I belong to the United Way Women's Leadership organization, and it's high-end women business owners that donate over $1,000 a year to belong to this. So they have a lot of events and networking, and there's a few people building homes that are going to work with me in the future. We're just waiting for those homes to get ready. But again, high level of people. And, you know, it's just really interesting to the networking. I belong to a few more. I'm not going to get into all of those. Then I also join boards. I am a vice chair of When's Girls, where we help young women that have at-risk issues at home, and we work with them. And again, some of the high-end people on that board, one's a president of a university I'm working for. Another person is the wife. She's our second lady of the state of Pennsylvania. I work for a hospital. I do their gala. So I'm in front of doctors' offices, and it's just giving back.
Wow. I love how specific you are with your audience. I mean, you're being very deliberate about what you're doing and who that audience is and getting in front of them.
Yep. Then I also joined the network again, which is a no-brainer. All of our industries, you join the network, you get discounts. They just did a show in Chicago 2 weeks ago. I went out and I learned about motorization. I got to meet some of the corporate people. Again, I shared some of my successes to them, and corporate really liked that. So again, shine, be your own advocate, and givers gain. That's my big philosophy. I want to help you before I ask for anything. And again, that's just who I am. Moving on to like strategic partnerships. Again, I work with designers. I'm trying to get in front of office furniture companies. I go to all of their ASID, IIDI, all of their programs, and they know me from when I worked before, but now I got to meet the younger people that are coming up. So my goal, I met a designer at an event. I went out and did all their window treatments for an energy company that was relocating. That was a
Wow.
great job. That was, again, one of my biggest jobs. I'm trying to connect with realtors and architects. My husband just put a frame together for me. I ordered some samples, so I'm going to take those out and do lunch and learns at architectural firms and office furniture firms, because I used to work for so many of them before. Now I need to let them know, hey, I used to do this.
Right.
Are you selling window treatments? Why not? Let me go in and represent you, and you get that sell. So again, there's just so many different things.
Love it.
Internet marketing, you name it, I do it. And, in case you haven't noticed, this here is gray, and I get it because I have to get it or I'm going to fall behind. So immediately, like I stated before, I went right into search engine optimization, and it's really working with your firm, Will. The calls are coming in. I was a little bit slow the beginning of the year, like I think a lot of people were.
Yep.
Social media 5 times a week. That's on my LinkedIn. I just got a big shutter job from my LinkedIn.
Oh,
She's like, hey, I saw you switch jobs. I need my house done with shutters. When can we meet? I'll be there. I went on a Saturday. So, normally I sell about 95% of my calls and leave that day with a check. So
I love
again,
that.
this stuff works.
Yeah, I love the LinkedIn idea too. Not a lot of people do that, right? They think, well, I got to be on Facebook, I got to be on Instagram, but LinkedIn is where the higher end people tend to hang out. So again, very deliberate with your audience. I love it.
Yes, absolutely. Also, your website really matters. I'm just looking at some of my notes because I do this stuff and just forget I do it.
Yeah.
But 30 to 40% of my business is social media. It works.
Yeah.
Again, I have 3,000 people plus on my Facebook, 3,000 plus on my LinkedIn. So again, that university came from SEO. That was 50% of my profit last year.
Yeah.
So it matters, and you have to be connected, and you have to, especially with the younger people just starting this business out there, brand yourself, brand yourself, brand yourself. I can't say that enough. And ask for what you want. But I don't do pay per click. That's something we got to talk about. That might be my next thing I'm doing. But just to give you an example of winning some jobs on social media, I sent this holiday thing out. So one of my prior customers, and I'll talk about that towards the end, I give a $50 Amazon card if they refer me to a client that spends $300 to $500 at least. And once they sell it, I send them out an Amazon card. So it was the first time I did that. It was about a month ago. I took a picture of the Amazon card. I have a card that says, thank you for your referral. And then I put my business card and I snapped a picture of it. And I said, hey, congratulations to so-and-so. She just referred me to a customer and she's walking away with a $50 Amazon card. Do you want one? So again, 2 weeks ago, I got another referral. I just mailed her card out yesterday. I reposted with her name saying thank you, and it went out. So again, I'm waiting for that next referral, and it's costing me $50.
Yeah.
So can't say enough about social media.
That's fantastic. I love that you're consistent on the social media too. It's not like you're heaping mounds and mounds of posts, right? But you're very consistent with it, and that keeps you top of mind for the right people.
Yes. And like LinkedIn, you mentioned it, the high-end people. This was the president of a hospital foundation. Again, these are the people that you're going to get. And with Facebook, it's friends of friends, friends of family, relatives. I'm lucky I was born into a large family, so they need windows and they're buying homes. I talked about the referrals, and then also I had really good success with Nextdoor. And that is a platform on the internet. But, lately I've ran that for the last 2 months. I haven't really gotten anything, but it's cheap. And I suggest people look into that too. And then the last thing I just want to talk about, I'm not doing any lead buying services or online directory, but the PR, always, 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 always. Also a coach. I work with executive leaders. I went to coaching school during the pandemic. But this book behind me, it's called 21. That came out of a coaching session. And that book has brought us so much with podcasts and getting my name out, not only as a coach, but as the owner of Decorating Details. So I speak on it. We just did a retreat a month ago in Lake Erie. We sold the retreat out. We got a whole bed and breakfast and had a wonderful weekend. So I already have some people that are looking from that retreat. Business journals, from my survey, they just asked me to do a video referral of how that went. So again, there's so many things that will lead to other things that you might not even expect. But PR always, I'm always doing a lot of PR. And again, Kelly, my visibility strategist, is a great writer. Look to hire those type of people that can really help you.
Yeah. Love it.
And that's it with the marketing.
Oh, is that all? That's great. I love it. One question I do have, well, two. The networking class that you do, is that local only?
That's through your small business development centers. And I used to speak at their conferences. They had entrepreneurial conference and I was always speaking. I did it for 4 or 5 years in a row. And I was on panel discussions. So when I restarted this, I reached out to them and say, hey, I'm doing this. I'm a master networker. No, I don't get paid for that. But again, that led me to the airport chamber, which I'm going to speak at in a few months. That has gotten me jobs. That has gotten me coaching opportunities from speaking at that. So again, you have to weigh my time away and not getting paid, or is there an opportunity? So now they wanted me to do it every month. I said no to that, but I will do it every quarter.
Sure.
Because I'm too busy for every month. But again, you got to weigh that. How can you get your name out there, your profession, and how do you really help people? Because that's the bottom line.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Thank you. So question number 2 was, you mentioned Nextdoor. So that's a fairly newer platform, and especially the advertising side of that. Are you just engaging with people on that platform, or are you actually using their ad platform?
I'm using the ad platform.
Okay.
The only thing is they don't really support you a whole lot, and it can get
Right.
confusing at times, and that frustrates me because I think it's a really good platform and it's reasonable, and you pick the areas you want to be in, and you can go for as little as a few dollars a day up.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, I got some of my first calls from that platform. Now it seems like nothing's really going on. I probably have to change a different area. So I'm taking a little break from them. Again, I just want to check it out, see if it's successful. If it isn't, and you've got to give it time. As an advertiser in that profession years ago, you got to really understand, you got to spend money to make money, but you also got to stay. Where's your return on investment? Yeah. What did I not do right that I should have? Is this not working? Do I need to move on? Yeah. Test the waters.
I think that's hugely important. And obviously you're doing a great job at that, is testing a lot of different things, and the ones that are working, you're doubling down on those.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Great. So of all the different marketing efforts that you're doing, which one drives the most leads for you?
Definitely social and SEO.
Okay.
No, hands down. And if you aren't doing it, you need to do it.
Yeah. Well, I'll agree with that, right? Selfishly. Which of the marketing channels is the most profitable for you?
Both, again, social and SEO.
Okay. So just constantly being out there where people are searching for your services and products.
And again, with your education, Will, throughout this process, your Google My Business, teaching us about that, knowing how important that is. I have 5 stars for about 15 people right now. And again, that gets you up on the page when people search for you.
Yeah.
Really important.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. So tell us about your latest marketing campaign. I hear you're up to something really cool.
I am. And again, I love it. It drives me. But, I took a lot of time to figure out what I wanted to do. And when I had my business a long time ago, I would go out and do the lunch and learns. And I made sure I got this mouse pad that had a calculator in it. It had a place to put your pens. It was just really nice. And then it had my logo and phone number really huge on it. It was a fairly big one. And it cost me a lot of money, but I took it out and I used it. And that's when I got into a lot of these office furniture places and with architects, again, putting me on their job list of who to call.
Yep.
So I took my time this time, and I really wanted to find like a cool looking little box. But the problem was it was too small to put a big mailing label on. Another thing, pirate ship. If you ever want to mail, this is a big tip, people. Listen, pirateship.com, Google it, sign up. The postal service person that is a coach with me, she used to work at the postal service. She's the one that told me about this. They recommend it. So I paid $7.90, but my label was too big and it wouldn't let it go on here. I'm like, oh, I spent so much time trying to do this. So I had to put it in an envelope. So again, that was my mistake. And again, I make mistakes. So next time the box will be bigger where I could fit the label on. But really check out pirateship.com. It's so much cheaper. And you can pick if you want the postal service, UPS, FedEx. So this is what I did to get into facility managers, places at university and healthcares, directors of operations. So in this box, I spent a lot of time figuring out what my product was going to be. So I did a measuring tape. So the people that are watching on YouTube can see this. So go back and watch the YouTube once it's up. But it has my logo and phone number on it. It also has a light that you can turn on, which I really like the light. And then on the back, I put my business card on the little clip. And then I put the purple, the colors of my company. But I did this really cool, whoops, upside down. I did this really cool little card that fits in there. So why would they want to deal with me? I'm like, okay, I'm going to send this. So I thought it out. Why would they want to deal with Renee? So I put why Renee, decades of experience in commercial, education, healthcare, and senior living, quick response and flexibility availability. That's what they want. They want you to show up. WBE certification in progress. That's a women business enterprise. And if women or if you have any other, African-American, Latino, any of those, get certified because they are getting tax breaks on using people like me. Okay. So it's important because I called up the senior center that I worked with before and said, hey, we used to work together. Can we do lunch? And he's like, I would love it. We didn't talk business the whole while. It was just re-engaging that relationship. And at the very end, he's like, okay, let's start doing stuff. I got a lot coming up that you did in the past that needs done now again. Oh. So timing was perfect. I put I'm a Graber preferred dealer. I'm a Mecco dealer. And again, a lot of them look for the Mecco shade. I put my photo here because I know some of them will remember me if they're still there, my contact information. Then on the other side, I put, why is it time to engage with another window treatment supplier? People don't want that hassle. Why should I do that? But I'm also finding out that they're not responsive like I would be. I put cost savings, quality products, award-winning design and customer service, locally women-owned company. And then I have a video on here. I had 6 professional videos done. I have a QR code. it says scan it to watch the video. And the video is all about my response time and working in the commercial entity, or whatever that word is. I'm sorry, losing. So again, now it's the follow-up time. So I send 4 or 5 out a week. I'm following up from my first week I sent it. So those calls are coming tomorrow. I just mailed 5 more. I did education mostly because we're coming to the end of the year where they're going to start putting their blinds in. So I needed to get in front of them. So those calls are coming. Going to follow up with a call, I think, and then maybe an email. I'm not sure yet. I still got to think about that a little bit more. So again, that's my newest marketing, and it's trying to get me in front of these facility people that make these decisions that might be tired of their person that they're dealing with now.
Yeah. I love the idea of the, what we call lumpy mail. It's not just the postcard. It's not just a letter. It's something, they're going to open, right? Just to see, just curiosity, what's in here. And then boom, you got that brand exposure, if nothing else, right?
Right.
And then you're following up 7 days later on average. Would that be fair to say?
Yep.
Okay. So plenty of time for them to get it. And then you can remind them, I sent the thing, right? That's great. I love it. So
I think I'll do the email first just to make sure they got it. But again, afraid that might get stuck in spam. So again, the phone call probably a few days later.
Yep. That's awesome. I love it. One thing you can do inside Lead Boomerang is those voicemail drops too. So if you have the phone number, you could actually record one message and just drop it on their phone 7 days later too. So
wow. Okay.
Yeah, that would be really cool too. So
great.
Good. So let's turn it around the other way. What is a marketing effort that you've kind of stopped doing due to lack of performance?
Print.
Mostly print.
I really stepped away. I spent a ton of money on it. And I just really stepped away because I'd rather have that money in my pocket instead of, again, I used it for brand. I think it did what it needed to do. I was happy with that. But moving forward, it's just not like it used to be back in the day.
Sure.
So I'm kind of stepping aside. I'll see how things go.
Yeah.
And it's not out of the realm right now, totally out. It's out for this year. So we're reevaluate everything and see where everything came from. And then we'll decide when and if we will initiate that again.
Okay. We are getting ready to release a new print direct mail thing that targets people that have previously visited your website. So not ready to announce that yet, but that might be something really interesting for you as well.
Yeah. And you do such a great job too. I love getting my little packages from you.
That's very good. So that's awesome. I mean, we follow the same things, right? We do a lot of the same things, touching these clients, touching people throughout the year, and just, again, that brand exposure, which you're really doing a great job of.
And I'm excited about the Touch a Truck too. They get over 1,000 people. I just hope it's a nice, beautiful day and the people come out. But I already bought, I have a treasure chest, and I bought little plastic creatures and toys for the children because I want to have something for the kids, and I'm still deciding what I'm going to do for the adults. But my rep is providing me with books and pamphlets and stuff, and then I'll have a flyer there. I was thinking of buying some lip balm with my logo on it. But again, I'm kind of watching my marketing dollars right now.
Sure.
So,
sure.
But
along those same lines, Little League is another good one, because again, they take the child's picture and that picture stays up on the mantle for 5, 10, 20 years, right?
Yes.
Along with your branding right there.
I did soccer for our hometown. I did baseball. I did ice hockey. So I constantly sponsored those leagues. And I was thinking about that too for probably next year.
Love it.
But again, yes. And, my kids grew up in all those sports, and there was my name. And I'm like, I would go and talk to them after a game, and especially the boys. I'm like, I'm sorry, you got to wear a decorating detail shirt. But if these sponsors weren't here, you wouldn't be playing, or you
Right.
would be paying a bigger price. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have to apologize. And they kind of laughed. They were
Yeah,
little.
that's
The
great.
parents liked it.
That's great. So are there any special initiatives or anything you're doing to attract online reviews?
Actually, not right now. I'm thinking about it, but again, I just asked them. And from the moment that they engage with me and I order it, they tell you when to expect that shipment. I said, okay, your thing's ordered. This is preliminary ship to and arrival date. And then I also, when I go in there, ask them, do you want me to email you, phone call, or text you? I always make sure I ask those questions because they don't want to be annoyed. And if they're working, most of the time it's text. So I say, hey, this is happening. Hey, it's here. Now we're just, we're going to get with the installer. We're going to get your date. I go on every install. So I pick up my check and I make sure it was good.
Yep.
And I don't care what my installers, if they don't want me there, I'm helping them actually. So they like me and I have great relationships with them. One guy, we go back 30 years. So,
Oh, wow.
So I think it's important to be there and keep them up to date. So when I go back to them and ask them to please do it and how it would help me, they don't hesitate. It's
Right.
just me trying to make sure I find the time to do that.
Yep. Yep. Is there any follow-up marketing that you're doing to past clients?
Yes. So at Christmas, and again, my head's buzzing with this because I got to do more. And the people that can see, this is what I did. But what it has, it's a postcard, and I put it in their holiday card and I sent it out to my clients when I was working part-time. So for the last 2 years, I sent it, and it says, my gift to you, get a $50 Amazon gift card for every order over $500. It comes from your referrals. Santa says, take $50 off your next order of 300 or more. And then there's a Santa there holding out money. Then
Nice.
I have another QR code, and it says, scan the QR code for a holiday message and see the decorating details difference. And again, I owe this all to my visibility strategist. She does this, but we talk it through. And I say, I want to see this, or I want to do this. And then we really collaborate on this, and it makes it perfect. So the QR code's my message standing in front of my Christmas tree in a little elf top and wishing them a great holiday season and thanking them for their business. That's it. So, and then I have share a Google review right here down on the bottom with my link. And then again, my phone number, my email, my website. So that's what I did. I do need to put together an email list and start doing some email marketing. I really have to do that.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, that's always something to think about. And it does get kind of pushed to the back burner. But if those are people that have already purchased from you, it's another opportunity for you to stay top of mind.
And especially now that I'm comfortable doing soft treatments, that's what my next marketing thing's going to be. And I'm going to have all the new fabrics that are out and tell them about this visualizer. I can come in and take a picture of your window and see what kind of fabric's going to look good on it. You're going to see the colors and the product immediately.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to start doing next.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about some of the services that you're offering real quick. What are probably the most profitable for you now that you're doing all this marketing and trying to get in front of this audience? What is the most profitable service for you?
Shutters, definitely.
Shutters. Okay.
Shutters. And now these soft treatments.
And the soft treatments. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
And I was scared to death of a Roman shade. Don't ask me why, but my cousin in Ohio wanted it. And I'm like, oh my God. So I did it. She loved them so much. We did 5 of them in her kitchen. I just went back about a month ago and we just did her sunroom. Beautiful work. So now I want to sell everyone a Roman shade.
All right. That's great. That's
I'm
great.
still getting comfortable with it, but the Graber system is set up very well where they won't let you make a mistake. And
Yeah.
then it figures it all out. And back in the day, I had to figure out yardage and, all of that stuff. Now it's like they do it. How easy can that be? And for how long I was afraid, how much money I lost.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Again, it's soft treatments and shutters, I personally think, and also motorization, which I wasn't comfortable with till I put it in my home in December. And then I went to Chicago and I learned more about it. Hands-on training, can't say enough about it. And people, it costs a lot to go to these things, but I use my air miles. I found a cheap hotel. I mean, I didn't stop till I found that hotel for around $100.
Yeah.
Then I found Hotwire with my rental car. So it probably ended up costing me about $250, $300.
Nice.
And I learned so much and met great people there.
Yeah. That more than pays for the education.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. What would you say to owner of a window treatment business that is trying to take their company to the next level?
Go for it. Just go for it. Don't look back. You can, I mean, when you look at me and you see that I've made it, anybody can do it. You just gotta not question yourself, find help, ask for help, get a mentor. We're all here. We're all on these platforms. We all talk back and forth. You do your monthly thing. I look on window installers on Facebook and, ask for help, and people ask for help on those platforms, and you can deliver that. You can help people or they can help you. But, my big thing is in life, ask for whatever you need, because all they can say is no. And when you leave that house, ask for the sale. You have to.
Yeah, that's great. That's you can't get it if you, what is it? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right?
And a few weeks ago, this just happened to me. She's like, well, I have another appointment on Thursday. And I said, well, let me ask you a few questions. Are you comfortable with me? Do you trust me? I'll give you a guarantee. And so I explained my guarantee and I said, and she goes, well, yeah. And I was referred to you. So that stands its ground. And I said, as long as you're comfortable with me and you trust me, I would love to do business with you. She's like, let me get my checkbook.
Nice. Yeah.
So again, I think it's your honesty, your integrity, how you approach the situation, how you sell. I was never a rough and tough type salesperson. And I'm hearing a lot of stories where people say, well, if you don't say yes and give me a check, then I can't promise you this by tomorrow. I don't like that. I don't want someone to do that to me. So, why would I do that? That's not in my value system. It's not how I react. So be yourself and treat people good and kind and ask for help and brand yourself.
Yeah. So took a couple notes, join some Facebook groups that are out there for that reason, engage with those, with other business owners like you. Follow up, I think, is a big thing. Just following up is a big part of what you do, right? Mm-hmm. Ask for the sale, be yourself. Those are all fantastic tips. I love it.
Yeah. And it's common sense. Right. You don't have to have a special skill to win a job. You have to have the knowledge. And again, keep, any additional things is just keep educating yourself and don't feel that you can't sell something because you're afraid. Buy it for yourself, get a small window and, see what it looks like and go to these conferences and conventions. I used to go to all of Grace's seminars and conferences she did, window fashions, and back in the day. And I wanted to go this year and I couldn't make it. But next year I'll be there. Where's it at next year, Will? You probably Dallas. Okay. That sounds like a good place to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's the second week of April. So they moved it up a couple weeks.
Oh, okay. Oh, darn, that's getting close to when the Graber trip to Paris is.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Dallas or Paris? Gee whiz.
Yeah, it's April 16th for Paris, and I just missed it through the network. I was so close. I was leading third to fifth place throughout the year, and then at the very end, didn't make
Wow.
it.
Oh,
But
wow.
you know what? I wasn't meant to be in Spain in June, so that's the way I looked at it.
Nice.
But I'm going to go to Paris, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, very good. Well, Renee, thank you so much for all your wisdom and for everything that you've shared. It's been incredible. Tons of notes. I've taken a lot of notes, and I'm sure that the listeners have done the same. So definitely appreciate your time.
Thank you, Will. And, I hope if you listen to this and you get one little thing out of it, then to me, that was worth your time listening. So I hope I was able to help someone. And again, feel free to reach out to me.
Yeah. Speaking of that, how can people get in touch with you? What's the best way?
I love phone calls. We don't do that anymore. So I love a phone call. I love a Zoom call. My phone number is 412-414-8622, or, just email me rf@decorating-details.com, or like my Facebook page, Decorating Details in Pittsburgh, and message me there. You can get me. I'm responsive.
Sure. Yeah. And there's no reason not to watch your Facebook page just to get ideas for posts and things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Awesome. We will put all of your contact info in our show notes, of course. And I definitely appreciate all that you've shared today. And listen, great information. I can't say enough about how great this has been.
Thanks. And I appreciate you and all you do for the industry.
Sure.
We couldn't be where we are without a lot of the things that you present to us. So thank you, Will. And thanks for the privilege of speaking with you and your customers and clients that are watching or listening.
Yeah, you bet. I appreciate it. So listen, if you like this podcast or other podcasts similar to this, other episodes that we've done, we try to keep a variety of service providers and shop at home dealers like this so that you can learn from each other. And as Renee said, if we can all, just get on the same page and learn from each other and improve that overall education, everybody's in a better place. So if you do enjoy this, please subscribe to our podcast. Don't forget to, get on your favorite platform, Stitcher, Apple, all of those, and keep in touch with us. We're putting out podcasts every 2 weeks, and would love to have you listen along. So also, if you would like to be a guest on a future podcast, reach out to us, or you can go to our website, wtmarketingpros.com. And there's a way in there to sign up as a guest, and we would love to have you on and learn about other marketing things that you're doing as well. So thanks again, Renee. Hope you have a great day, and thank you all for listening, and hope you have a great